we're going to talk to you guys about what it took to make our road trip to Florida happen. We're going to go through all of the expenses that we incurred during this trip and kind of teach you guys how we ways that we saved money and possibly things that we probably didn't need to do or purchase while we were on the trip. So this is my beautiful wife here, Krista. We are the Travel Vlog family. And last, I want to know down in the comments below where you guys are from. Let me know down in the comments below what city, state, country you guys are from. But this past summer, we took this road trip to Florida, and we decided that we would go to, we stopped in Mississippi, and then we went to our friend's house. No, we stopped in Gainesville, and then we went to our friend's house for a long weekend. And then we went back up to Tallahassee. So we're kind of in the north and central parts of Florida is where we were at. Hey to all the people who are joining us. If you haven't clicked that thumbs up button, would definitely appreciate that. So I want to know from you first, what was your favorite part of the trip? Did you have a favorite moment?
I am going to be remembering this trip as you talk about it.
Okay.
It was quite some time ago.
This is back in July.
Yeah. Look, somebody from Germany.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it says message retracted.
Oh, hey, Tim. Why is it retracted? That's weird.
I don't know. So spending time with our friends, because that was the main reason for us going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, is this the trip where we went to all the different springs?
Yes.
So this, wherever we were at, we went to the springs.
Yeah, that
we'll
was
talk about which ones I liked and which ones I didn't. But,
okay. Yeah. Those are fun. Hey, Louisiana Elevators, how's it going? So, what is your daughter's favorite dinner food? I'll let you answer that while we get our first receipts here.
Let's see. Probably pizza.
Pizza, that's true. That's true. So I kind of organized our receipts this time by different categories. This is fun stuff that we did. This is just some essentials that we needed. This is gas, which I was surprised by how little that was. And this right here is food. This is the most. And you'll notice that there's no hotels or accommodations on this particular trip. And that's because everywhere we stayed, it did not cost us anything. So we're going to talk to you guys about how we did that as well, because we used a couple of different things that we could do there. How's it going, Joey? How you doing? Got some people in here today. This is exciting. If y'all haven't clicked thumbs up yet, go ahead and do that. So our first stop was in Alabama, actually. It was Saraland, Alabama. And that's where we stayed at the Marriott, and there was Amelia Park nearby. You remember that? With the military tank?
Oh, okay.
So we did that. We stayed there. That was a good third of the way point, I guess you could say, till we got there. And so I specifically picked that park or that place because it was near Amelia Park, and I knew that she would love Amelia Park. And so we got some dinner there. And so let's go through some of the food items that
the reason why we have to stop so much is because we have a 2-year-old.
Yeah, that's right.
And he wasn't even 2 at the time.
Yeah, he was 1.5 at the time. So I don't know how far, probably like a 5-hour drive to Alabama.
I can't remember.
And then Gainesville was another like 6-hour drive. And then we did the rest going to our friend's house. So, I don't have these organized by the actual itinerary of the trip, so we'll just kind of go through what we did here. On the way to Florida, we stopped at a place in Gainesville called Adam's Rib Company, and that was one of those nights where we had just drove for a good long while, and we just needed to get some food and bring it back to the hotel.
Yeah, that was right by campus.
Yeah, that was by campus, right?
And it was we Google searched, and they had tons of good reviews.
Yeah.
And so that's why we picked that. We do a lot of Google reviews whenever we're out trying to find restaurants.
Yes.
We look at a lot of reviews.
And so this one was $44.29 for that meal, which it seems like on travel days, whenever we need to stop and get dinner after a long drive, that's whenever we end up spending money on the trip.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have an ice chest that we pack with food whenever we are getting ready to go, or we stop at a grocery store and we pack it with ice so that we're able to go. In Tallahassee, which was after we stayed at our friend's house, we got a pizza one day because it's Amelia's favorite, and it was $25 for a pizza there. And I believe that was the day that we arrived in Tallahassee, and we just needed something to eat.
I'm trying to remember if I think I remember that restaurant. It was a local place.
It was a local place. We just drove up and they brought it
Yeah.
out to us, and we actually went back up to the room and ate it, and we were going out to the swimming pool after that, but then it started raining on us, so we didn't get a chance to swim. Let's see. This one was
Somebody asked about Amelia's favorite vegetable, and her favorite vegetable is I don't know, carrots.
carrots, I guess.
Our kids like a lot of vegetables,
Yeah,
except
they
for
do.
squash and zucchini.
Right.
Pretty much they like everything else.
This is just ice right here. Like I said, we talked about we bring food with us and we have to get ice to replenish as we go into the ice chest. That usually runs about $2 to $3. This one was $2.88. That was whenever we were leaving our friend's house. Oh, this was CVS. This was an unexpected thing. Do you remember this?
Coloring books?
No.
No.
This was you weren't feeling good. You had a headache. We were in Gainesville.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
That was Pepto.
Is that what that was?
Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
I had some tummy troubles.
Yeah.
Which is not uncommon when you're traveling.
Right. And so that was kind of an unexpected expense there that I just kind of put under food because it's something that you put in your body. This right here, this is dark chocolate and Hostess double something and birthday cake.
Who bought that?
Who bought this? I don't know. They spent $18.25.
At just the gas station?
Yeah, this was at,
so this is like sometimes to keep the kids happy, we just let them if we're driving a whole bunch, we stop at a gas station and we say, okay, everybody can pick whatever snack they want. And so
But this one was at the Busy Bee.
Oh, that's what that is. Oh,
and so we didn't realize how much the snack that she got. Do you remember? You got
I accidentally picked up something that was like $10.
They make their own like crunchy. It's not popcorn.
It's like a snack mix.
It's a snack mix.
And it has that like honeycomb stuff in it. It was delicious.
Right. I showed it in the video.
It was probably worth $10.
I don't know if I'd go that far. So that was $18.25 that we probably didn't need to spend, or we probably could have cut in half, I would say. That was a little more than we would have spent at a gas station.
Right.
This is some food we picked up.
That's at McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
So that is.
This was a breakfast thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We do not typically eat fast food. Even whenever we're on the go, we try. If we really need something fast, we'd rather stop at a grocery store and grab sandwiches or something rather than stop at a fast food restaurant. However, because of COVID, a lot of our hotels didn't have breakfast.
Actually, it was the Marriott hotels.
Yeah, and so we really depend on, we purposely pick hotels that have breakfast so that we can do that for our kids, and it maximizes our activity time during the day, not having to find breakfast. But whenever we got there, it was like a granola bar and an apple and a ball of water.
In their like little bag, take and go
and that was not going to cut it for the whole day. And so we will get we're not big fans of, even if we're going to eat fast food, McDonald's is really not our first choice. But at McDonald's for breakfast, you can get real scrambled eggs, you can get breakfast sausage. And so, and the kids will eat pancakes.
They'll share a pancake.
Right. Yeah. And so, they'll probably each eat one pancake.
Well, between all three of them, they can share probably two meals, 2 pancakes.
Oh, yeah. And so that is probably the only time we ever eat at McDonald's is to get breakfast.
Yep.
Tim asked how Jacques and Becca and Amelia are doing. They're good. Amelia had a sleepover last night and came home exhausted. And so for the first time.
Because she woke up at 3 a.m. this morning.
Yeah. So she's taking a nap, which is something she never does. Becca's napping and Jacques is probably playing on the Nintendo.
Right. So that McDonald's trip was $16.46. So that was another breakfast thing that we did not intend to spend there. So far we're at about $25 or so that we didn't need to spend. What was your favorite trip you've done? Michael C. TV asks. Do you have a favorite? Ever? Yeah.
When Lane and I went to South Africa.
Yeah, that was a good trip with kids.
Right.
What would
favorite
you say
trip with kids? I don't even know how to pick because they're so different. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Actually, the one that's coming up that we're planning right now is, I think, going to be a favorite one.
Yeah.
Which you guys will find out more soon. Our next expense that we have is Sonic. Whenever we we were going to Florida, and this I don't know what this is either. Oreo minis and Snickers
They're all
and
Sonic Blast, which is ice cream.
and
if
cookies.
you watch any of our videos, you know that if we're taking a long trip, then we buy ice cream to keep everybody happy.
We do buy ice cream. It does make for a better hot day. But that was another $10. Again, probably didn't need to buy, but it's nice to have ice cream.
If it keeps everybody happy.
Happy, right.
That's what you're trying to do on a road trip.
And what we did there, too, that was one of the stops that we wanted to do because, one, it was good time for lunch. We found a park that we could go to so that the kids could burn some energy. There were a couple of roadside attractions there that I wanted to see, and we ended up getting the ice cream because everybody did well after that. So that worked out really well. There was a lot to do there. I was surprised by how much we actually did in Ponchatoula. That's in Louisiana.
That's another way. Like if it's hot, we always
get ice cream.
Yeah,
that is a travel tip from us. Get ice cream. This is looks like dinner one night. We stopped at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, that's a good family restaurant.
This was in Alabama, so we just drove for a long time, and we needed a place to go to eat with kids. Actually, no, this was breakfast. This was breakfast.
That's that was a one that.
No, this is dinner.
Oh, we let the kids.
We let the kids get breakfast. That's right.
That was the one where we were. I love Cracker Barrel. It's family friendly. Lane and I eat mostly meat and some vegetables, and so we can get like a pretty hearty meal there. Mm-hmm. That was an incredibly disappointing dinner. I remember.
Yeah.
Like I was very unhappy with
because we had to bring it back. Yes.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. We didn't get to eat there.
Oh yeah, we got to bring it to our hotel.
Yeah.
So anyway, we typically are big fans of Cracker Barrel, but that one in Saraland, Alabama, was not
up to par.
No,
with
but
our Cracker Barrel.
It was during COVID when people were having a really hard time getting stuff.
Right.
And so it could have totally not been their fault.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, our next one. This is at our friend's house in Lakeland, and it is 30A. We went and ate. There's a tip on here. So this is a meal of some sort. I don't know what meal this is.
It doesn't say the name of the restaurant.
It doesn't, which is crazy. But it's $45.18. So it was probably.
What restaurant did we go?
I'm trying to. Oh, we went.
You guys went and picked up Hooters one, or was it, or Buffalo Wild Wings?
We
went and got wings one day.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
We got that flats tortilla.
I remember because I was not in a good mood, and Elaine and I got in an argument.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Elaine and I don't get in arguments very often.
Yeah, and we got into an argument. And that was that was it. That was Hooters.
Okay.
So $45 there.
Are you sure? No, that's the whole family.
Yeah,
$45.
We brought home some food as well.
For the kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
7-Eleven got ice. 2 bags of 10 pounds of ice.
Just keeping our food and our ice chest cold.
Yep. That was $6.40. We went and did some grocery shopping while we were staying at our friend's house in Florida because
we helped them buy. We're living in their house.
We're living in their house, so we got groceries with them. So we spent. This was $55 for a bunch of groceries. That was just one of the smaller grocery trips. I think we did 2 of them.
And stuff on there.
Right. Here's another expense that we didn't need to do, but it was more for the experience. So we went to the Wakulla Springs. I don't know how to say it. And they had the fountain, the soda fountain there. And
it's like a legit old school soda fountain where they make like old school drinks.
Right.
Like the same way that they used to make them back in the day.
They have the longest marble countertop there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a roadside attraction.
You can get like old fashioned candies and stuff, but we went for the
soda
fancy soda fountain stuff.
So that was $26.30. That definitely didn't need to spend, or we probably could have minimized by everyone sharing some drinks or whatever. But it was still a fun experience to be able to do that. Although to get into that park, which we'll get to soon, is super cheap.
That was, and I would like to go back there on a sunny day because we were on a rainy day.
That's right.
They had a really awesome spring there.
They did. The next one, this was whenever we got to, this was in Tallahassee, and we went and ate at a place called Midtown Caboose, which was another place that we just found on Google Maps. We were searching for restaurants in the area. Do you remember this one? We got the burgers and brought it back to the hotel. It was after Wakulla Springs. But
they had good burgers.
Yeah, it was really good burgers.
Like really, really.
So
good burgers.
that was $50.04. That was one where we were kind of out and about all day, and we just needed to find some food. We were staying in a hotel that did not have a kitchen, so we had to spend a little money there on the food.
So Valerie just asked, how many drinks did $26 cover? So it's like old-fashioned soda fountain drinks. So the kids each got a root beer float, and those were $5.50 a piece. I got a ginger yip, which was the best thing I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. I love ginger. And it was like ice cream and ginger syrup blended together, like for a milkshake. But then they added like something fizzy.
Yeah.
So it was like a fizzy ginger milkshake.
I'd never heard of this before.
Oh, it was so good. And so it was $6.50. And then Lane had a blackberry phosphate, which is an old-fashioned drink. And that was $3. And so...
They include tip on there as well, which is $4.
Oh, and so the lady who was helping us was incredibly nice. Yeah. So we would have tipped her $4 anyway. And that was basically like dessert because they were huge. Yeah. And they all included ice cream, and so that does sound expensive for drinks. It does. It was 4
drinks. They're averaging $5 a piece. Add on.
Well, okay,
because it's 20. Yeah, it's $20. Okay. And then we give her a $4 tip, and then add on some tax, and you have $26. So this last one here for food is Tom Thumb. We were going to the last spring that we went to, Morrison Springs.
Oh, yeah.
And we needed to get some lunch for everybody to have. So we picked up some
Lunchables.
Some Lunchables.
For the kids, and then chips.
We had some stuff left over, too, in the ice chest. Yeah. Some...
Lane and I don't eat Lunchables.
Right. Not our thing.
Somebody asked about sports in Louisiana due to COVID.
Some sports are open. I know some kids stuff. We have some friends who are doing
like
baseball games and whatnot.
All the sports at my high school that I teach at are open. They just have
limited seating, don't they?
Well, it just went up. But slightly limited seating.
We're in phase 3 now, too, which means that they could allow more people. Right. So these 2 receipts right here are just kind of some extra expenses that I didn't really have a category for. The first one was Dollar General, and y'all saw in the vlog where we went and got some road trip essentials, and this was probably one of the best things we bought for the road trip, the coloring books the kids got. Because they can, they'll just be super quiet in the car and just go to town coloring these things.
And it was like they got to pick out their own coloring book.
Right. So they were looking for specific things. Amelia wanted horses and all that type of stuff.
Now, had we not been traveling, we probably would have gone to a place with more affordable coloring books because...
Well, the one that Jacques picked out was $10.
Well, the other one was $8.
And the other one was $8.
Like, I would never pay that much money back.
I think they were so much because they weren't just those jumbo coloring books or whatever. They were like the adult coloring books.
But in the future, we'll probably order that on Amazon before we leave to save money.
Or one thing I've been thinking about doing is creating a travel vlog family coloring book out of our photos so that people can download them and have them to color with their kids. Wouldn't that be a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one right here is...
Gas station?
No.
Duct tape.
This is duct tape. Because whenever we got to the Busy Bee in Live Oak, Florida, as y'all saw in the vlog, the bumper of our car literally started falling off.
Our new
van that we had for a month and a half, maybe. And so we had to buy some duct tape to be able to duct that thing back up and tape that thing back up.
Yeah.
And that was not a fun expense. That's one expense, the insurance claim and all that I did not factor into the entire trip because that's kind of an anomaly, I guess you could say, for what happened on this trip. Let's go over gas real quick. I actually already added it up. We went and got gas. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So going from Louisiana to Central Florida and back, we stopped and got 6 tanks of gas. And I calculated it was $180 in gas, which the way I look at it is for the 5 of us to fly to Florida. I mean, it's way more than that. And considering that we used hotel points to be able to cover all of our hotels, there was no accommodations. So it was literally like food and gas to be able to get there.
Yeah.
And we got to see a whole bunch of cool stuff along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the hotels that we stayed at. So the first one that we stayed at in Saraland, Alabama was a Marriott hotel. And we used this card right here. I actually pinned a link on the top of the chat here to our website where you guys can see all of the cards that we've used throughout the years. But basically, you spend $3,000 or $5,000 in 3 months. It's one of the two. And they give you like 100,000 points, I believe. It's somewhere between 80 and 100,000 points. And that's good for like 7 hotel stays. If you budget them correctly, depending on how much your budget costs. Hey, Sully, how's it going? Depending on how much the hotel costs and kind of where it's at, because obviously smaller towns aren't going to be as much as larger towns.
Which we purposely, for traveling, will stop in smaller places to use less points.
Exactly. So we stayed at the Marriott first, and like I said, that was the one in Saraland, Alabama. That used up all those Marriott points, although we have been accumulating more whenever we like buy groceries and gas, that type of stuff, so that we can, for the next trip, we have these hotel points that we can tap into again. The next one is the Hilton Honors points here. This is our first time staying in Hilton whenever we traveled, the Homes to Suites.
Yeah.
And
it's not, the rooms are big.
They're a little more modern too than the Marriotts, would you say? Marriotts are kind of like brownish colored, and I figured that the Hiltons are more like silvery.
No.
Does that make sense? No?
The Marriotts that we stayed in were nicer than the Hiltons.
Yeah, I agree that the Marriotts were nicer.
I don't think I don't know.
Modern as in look, not necessarily upkeep. No, you don't think so?
I'm remembering the rooms correctly.
But 3 things about Hiltons that makes worth getting the card. First of all, they have a saltwater pool if you like to go swimming. I had never swam in a saltwater pool before, and that was you can open your eyes underwater and they don't burn. I enjoyed.
It's not terrible for your hair.
It's not terrible for your hair. You don't feel like all weird with the chlorine on you. So that's the first thing. Second thing, COVID breakfast was awesome. You remember that?
Oh, at Hilton?
At Hilton, they had those to go.
They had sandwiches that they popped the whole package in the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had so many terrible Marriott breakfasts that's one thing that Hilton had during COVID.
Right. I feel
like at this point, Marriott's probably rectified that.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Granted, that was back in June and July.
Yeah. Somebody did bring up a point. I'm sorry.
No,
Valerie said, was that April of 2020 when the gas got so cheap? It was the summer of 2020 and gas was pretty cheap.
It was down to $2 or so, I'd say.
Okay.
$2 to $2.10, $2.20.
Okay.
A gallon. But for the breakfast, they also had those. It was like an egg.
Oh, omelets.
Omelets.
Yeah.
Texas style and all these different kinds, like just a few different ones.
Yeah. Lane was. I think I was eating whatever because we were on a Florida trip.
Right.
But Lane was still doesn't eat bread and processed carbs
and all that. Yeah.
And so the omelets are really nice because that gives him a breakfast.
And they had someone there that prepared it for you. Just I guess it was like a microwave or an oven type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were really good. I was impressed by that.
Plus they had cereal for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
They had the strawberry kiwi water.
Oh.
Everybody loved that.
Everybody did love that. And then the third thing about Hilton's is the window shade for nighttime. I like it to be dark whenever we're sleeping.
I feel like we can get it dark in the other hotels.
I don't know, because they always have light coming from the top of the window and the sides. And these curtains, I don't know if y'all watched the dad review video about it, but it's like the curtains inside the thing that holds it, and it's electric, and it comes down, and it gets like complete darkness against the wall. Favorite thing about a Hilton there.
Yeah.
Then I think this was this trip, but we stayed at the Holiday Inn in Mississippi.
Oh my god.
The one that you didn't like.
Oh, the lady at the front was mean.
Yeah, she wasn't too friendly.
And the people that were in the hotel were not as classy as we would like.
Right. So we ran out of points on here, staying in all the places. And on our way back, we had to tap in. This is our latest card here. It's the Chase Sapphire card. What's cool about this is that you can actually go onto the website and you can offset your expenses if you don't want to use it for hotels. So we like to use it for hotels just because it's a big expense. So we save up for that. But I remember whenever we finished our Texas trip, I was just curious, and I got on the website and looked, and it was like the ice cream that we got at the SA Pops place after I could use that as an expense to for points, as opposed to like you can offset it and they'd refund you or whatever. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. You just have more variety, I guess you can, with what you want to get rid of expenses there. Oh, I forgot to do this one.
I was wondering. I just looked down and said, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah, this was food. Back to the food category. We spent $12.36 on.
What's it called?
The Power Plant Cafe.
I don't remember that. Is it ice cream?
It was ice cream. That was in Tallahassee at the park, Cascades Park. It was hot. Everything was closed. The what do you call it? Splash pad was turned off because of COVID. You don't remember that? And we stopped and ate ice cream outside of the. They had like a little table set up outside. You don't remember that? They had there's a Vietnam veterans big thing, big waterfall, big lake fountain thing. There was a scooter there that y'all tried to ride, but you had to pay for one of those like pay-for scooters.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So
the most overpriced ice cream we bought.
Probably so.
But it saved everybody's sanity. So.
Yep. Then the last thing we have here, this is all of the attractions that we did while we were on our trip. Oh, have a good night, Tim.
Has to go to bed.
Yeah. Have a good night. Thanks for coming and stopping by. We're going to go through the attractions, so if you want to come back and watch this later, it's saved on the channel. You look awfully fit for all that ice cream. Who, me or her? Or both of us?
Lane's just skinny, and I do a lot of running.
All right, so I didn't get a receipt for this one, but we went to Ponce de Leon, and that cost $4 to get into the state parks in Florida. So that was
a great deal.
Yeah, it is a great deal.
That was our first spring. Huh?
That was our first spring that we stayed at.
And that was nice because it kind of meandered, and you could just walk through the cold waters.
So it was cool because it was like they made it into almost like a swimming pool area. Like there's a place where you could go swimming.
The deep part.
Right.
But it kind of was like a little river.
Right. There's a river that's off from that goes down and meets the other river. And so we do something called water hikes, where whenever you're in water and you want to go from point A to point B, it's a water hike, usually in rivers and that type of stuff. So we went and hiked we did a water hike all the way down to the end, and we saw where the two come together. It was really cool in the video because you could see the dirty water mixing with the beautiful spring water. Also, it was a hot day too.
Super, like 100 degrees in Florida.
Right.
And the springs are like.
And the springs are usually like 60, 65, 70 degrees.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really nice until the thunderstorms come, of course, because you're in the Panhandle and there's all kind of thunderstorms that come through there. That's one of the reasons why we had to leave, is because this huge thunderstorm came through. But it worked out. It was all right. This is the last expense of the trip, which was definitely, it was fun. We had a great time there, but it was $50 to get in. I think Beckett got in free.
Yeah.
And then the kids were 10 and you and me were 15 each. But this was at the Infinity Science Center. And that was
in Alabama, huh?
Mississippi,
okay.
Pearlington, Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
And there's 2 roadside attractions there, which if you're into space stuff, astronomy and whatnot, they have a space shuttle rocket booster thing there, which is huge. I didn't realize how big those things were. And then there's a lunar lander craft thing. It wasn't the one that actually was on the moon, but it was one that I don't know if they were making it
for
or
training.
Training, that's what it was. Yeah. The LEM is what it was called. But that was a really cool. We got to see those carnivorous plants there. There was all the hands-on activities for the kids to do to learn about flooding and hurricanes.
Mm-hmm. There's the simulator where it's like being on
the ocean.
The aircraft carrier. What do you call that? Right? Like when the planes take off.
No, that was in Pensacola.
Oh.
No, there's the simulation for you going down into
like you go down into the deep.
Yeah, you
get to see the animals. You gotta use
the robots to fix there's like a video game basically where you use the robots to fix I guess it was a
Is that a leak of some
leak
sort?
of some sort. I can't remember exactly what it was. But that was cool. There's like there's video screens that make up the windows, and like a big sperm whale swims by, and I think at the end it hits the glass and it breaks and whatnot.
Yeah, the kids enjoyed that.
Yeah,
place.
The kids did.
Lots of hands-on stuff.
Yeah. Definitely worth the $50 for. I think we stayed there like 3 or 4 hours too.
I think so too.
It was a good little trip. This is Wakulla Springs. This one, okay. So this state park was a little bit more than Ponce de Leon.
$6.
It's $6 as opposed to $4.
Who cares?
But then you spend 20 some odd dollars on ice cream.
Right. But I would love to go back to the spring on a sunny day.
Yeah.
We didn't get into the water as much as we would have because it was raining, and because of COVID, I would definitely do the boat tour if we went back there.
Oh,
also,
yeah.
But because of COVID, the boat tours were closed.
Yeah.
But they had they found like woolly mammoth fossils there, like tons of them.
Mm-hmm. That place is actually considered a roadside attraction because something on the boat tour, I don't know exactly what it is because we didn't get to do it. And then also there is an alligator that lived there for a long time.
Like a huge one. Huh?
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember how big it was. But somebody shot it. And they put out a reward for it, and they took his body. His name is Old Joe. And they took his body and put him in a little case so you could see him and whatnot. A big case, yeah. And then, of course, they have the marble countertop there. You can get all the drinks.
They have a diving platform.
Oh, yeah. That was the highlight for me. There's a huge 2-story tall diving platform where you could run and jump off into, I think it makes like a sinkhole is right where that platform is. So it's super deep whenever you go down. And that was a lot of fun. There's also 2 swimming platforms too that you can swim out to if you just want to like dive off the little platforms and whatnot.
Once again, it was a spring, so the water was super, super cold, which makes it more challenging on a cloudy, drizzly day with our kids. But definitely on a sunny day would be amazing.
There's also like a playground area there, so if your kids want to go out and play, yeah, you remember we went back?
Yeah, because it was in the park.
Right. And then the boat tour I think it's a glass, isn't it one of the glass bottom?
I think so. I was so disappointed that we didn't get to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Reading about it on the way there and wanting to go.
So cool. Yeah. Oh, also that place where you go and get the fountain drinks is a huge lodge.
Yeah, you can actually, I would really love to stay there.
Yeah,
I told Lane it's probably pretty pricey, but I would be willing to spend the money
just for one night
or two with our kids, because being able to, leave your hotel room and go right out to the springs and anyway, it was a really awesome place.
Yeah, that was.
Valerie asked if you were wearing a GoPro whenever you jumped. You had it in your hand.
I had it in my hand. Yeah, I was doing that. And then Krista was filming from afar. I jumped like 3 or 4 times too. It was fun. So she got a few different angles whenever I edited it together.
That was funny. There was all these teenage boys that were trying to work up the nerve to jump off in front of the girls. And Lane was just like, you guys, if you're not ready to jump, can I go? They were like, yeah. And Lane would just run out there and jump like a crazy person.
And I was watching some other videos of other people doing the jump, and the line gets like long.
Yeah.
Like they have the queue line, whatever.
It was like a drizzly day.
It was a drizzly day during COVID. Yeah. I think we were there during the weekday and not a weekend.
Yeah.
And so I just kept going, one right after the other. It was awesome.
That's the same thing for science.
Oh, okay. The science place. And then we have the Rich Loam General Store.
That was a random.
This is a roadside attraction.
Oh, that was a fun stop.
See, these roadside attractions, you never know what you're going to get. This was a store that has been around since the 1920s. And so they only sell stuff that was sold back in the 1920s in this store. And the lady who owned it was there, and she was telling us about the history of it and how a lot of the land around the area was sold to the government. And they made it into a national forest.
Yeah, it's a national forest.
I can't remember the name of the forest.
You'd never be able to find this store if you didn't look it up, because you have to drive kind of through the forest.
You go on dirt roads, I think, if I remember correctly, to get to
a little bit, maybe. Not much though. But we bought some like essentials there too. Yeah, this particular the lady who owned their family didn't want to sell, and so they had this store there that they just left there, and it became a roadside attraction because it's literally in the middle of the forest. If you go there and ask her the history, apparently the
the people, her ancestors, did like cucumber farming, I believe, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember.
On the land, and so they just utilized the land really well. But so we got some essentials there. I believe we picked up some eggs and some honey.
And then we let the kids get like old-fashioned candies.
They had like little jars of old-fashioned candies. Did they do it by weight?
Yeah, by the pound.
Right. And so we let them pick up some of that, and that was $17.46 for that. The big thing with this trip that we were able to cut costs on is, one, no accommodations, two, staying with our friends. That's one thing that I haven't really talked about in videos that much, but hopefully you can kind of see, is that whenever we travel, if you are trying to cut costs, find a friend or a family member or someone that you know that lives in a different state to where you want to go, and either ask them or tell them you want to go to the area, and hopefully they'll invite you. That's probably the easiest way to do it. But that's how another way that we're able to cut on the accommodations cost
when we go to Florida.
Well, we did it in Georgia a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
we had
in North Carolina with Al.
North Carolina with Al, which is coming up soon. And whenever we visited your aunt and uncle in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And
it's harder now because we have 3 kids.
Right.
Whenever Lane and I were not single, but just first married,
and
then we could stay with whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But
so it's just the 2 of us.
Yeah. But now that we have kids, our friends that we stay with in Florida also have kids, and they have a huge house.
Yeah, and so they all play together. They have a swimming pool.
Yeah.
So that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
But that's a tip that I have, is to stay with your friends and then get cards so you can pay for the hotels along the way. And then your biggest expense, at least for us, is food. Always food. Even this, like, I considered it a thing to do, the Rich Loam General Store, but that was with the food right there. You know, we paid for food. You live vicariously through your trip. I was supposed to be leaving for Florida 1 year ago Tuesday. Couldn't make it. This is bittersweet. Oh, well, we're glad we were able to bring you to Florida. Did you know you went to South Carolina when I went to Myrtle Beach? It was very fun. We went, this coming trip that y'all are about to see.
We went to beaches. We went to South Carolina.
Right. There was near Myrtle Beach,
but not exactly. What was it called? I can't remember now.
Pawleys Island was one.
Yeah. And
then we went to the place with the marsh walk.
I can't remember.
We had to drive something inlet, I remember.
Yeah.
But super cool. That's coming up soon, so you guys can look forward to that. So there's 2 more expenses that we didn't discuss because we don't have receipts for them, except for on Venmo. Whenever we were with our friends, we would split groceries with them. One day the women folk went a little hog wild on the candy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an expense. And then it was about $100 or so for more groceries. Because we were grilling stuff.
Lots of grilling.
Right. My friend's big into grilling on his grill and steaks and jalapeno poppers and all that type of stuff. So on the business expenses here, I have that trip being $661. You can throw on an additional $100 for the groceries that we didn't account for. But as y'all saw us going through these receipts, there's a few things that you could have cut cost on, but it made the trip a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
You know, all the ice cream, the Sonic things, the roadside attractions where we took the time to spend a little extra money. Probably the biggest one that we could have cut would be that Infinity Center, but that was something that we really wanted to do, and we wanted to have something to do for that day.
Yeah.
It was just $50. So, throughout the rest of March, we're going to have just some family videos of Amelia's horseback riding and a family adventure thing that I haven't disclosed to you guys yet. Y'all may have seen it in the Christmas video, the book that we got. And then we're going to start our Carolinas trip coming up soon. So if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on the notifications for that. But that is all we have for you guys today. If you guys, again, want to check out the credit cards we use, I'll put the link right up here at the top of the chat. Y'all can go and click that, or it's also down in the description below. And we'll be back live again after we finish the Carolina trip, so you guys can we can go through all of the expenses on that. Thank y'all for coming. We definitely appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. Say bye.
Bye.
This is the awkward part where I have to click all the buttons.